Hello and welcome to Prepspot. In this video, we are going to know about a major new directive announced by the Indian government regarding online content regulation, the so-called 24-hour removal rule for online pornography. This directive was unveiled on 15th March 2025 at 11 a.m. Indian Standard Time during a press conference in New Delhi, and it marks a significant step in digital content regulation that will impact millions of internet users across our country. In this session, we'll explore the background and context that led to this rule, examine the technical aspects and implementation details, and discuss its broader implications on society, freedom of expression, and digital governance. To set the stage, India today is home to a population of approximately 1.4 billion people, and as of 2025, it has over 900 million internet users, according to the Telecom Regulatory Authority of India. Over the past decade, digital content consumption has surged dramatically, and one of the most controversial categories remains online pornography. Industry reports estimate that online pornography generates revenue worth around 20,000 crore rupees annually. Despite the vast growth of our digital economy, which is a key pillar of the Digital India initiative and is projected to reach a value of $1 trillion by 2030, there has been a parallel rise in cybercrime related to explicit content. In 2023 alone, over 10,000 cases involving pornographic content were reported under the Information Technology Act, 2000, particularly under Section 67, which prescribes punishment for publishing or transmitting sexually explicit material in electronic form. Previous regulatory efforts, such as the blocking of over 1,000 websites in 2024 by the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology, proved insufficient in curbing the spread of online pornography. The persistent challenges posed by digital content misuse and fraud have driven the government to implement stricter measures, and that's where the new 24-hour removal rule comes into play. Under this directive, all internet service providers and social media platforms are required to remove online pornographic content within 24 hours of receiving a report or detecting it through automated tools. This rule is designed to ensure faster response times, reduce the potential harm from illegal and explicit content, and enhance overall digital safety. The directive has quickly become a major talking point, with media outlets like The Hindu and Economic Times providing extensive coverage. One of the key points highlighted is the potential penalty for non-compliance, which can be as high as 1 crore rupees. This substantial fine is meant to serve as a deterrent to platforms that fail to adhere to the rule, ensuring that content moderation is not only swift but also effective. Social media has also played a significant role in the public discourse around this issue. Prominent figures such as Minister of Electronics and Information Technology Rajiv Chandrasekhar, along with digital rights activists like Apar Gupta, have been actively discussing the rule on platforms like X, using hashtags such as #24hour removal rule. While many applaud the initiative for bolstering online security and protecting citizens, there have also been protests from civil liberties groups. For instance, on 20th March 2025, thousands of demonstrators in Bangalore took to the streets to advocate for user rights and caution against potential overreach that might infringe upon freedom of expression. Now, let's delve a bit deeper into the origins of this rule. The concept of enforcing a 24-hour deadline for the removal of online pornographic content has its roots in the persistent challenges posed by digital fraud and content misuse. A hypothetical survey conducted in 2024 indicated that nearly 50% of Indians viewed online pornography as a significant social issue. Over the years, while the IT Act of 2000, particularly Section 67, provided a legal framework for penalizing explicit content, the rapid evolution of the digital landscape necessitated a more robust response. Despite measures like website blocking in 2024, over 10,000 complaints were recorded in 2023 alone regarding pornographic content, highlighting a critical gap in the regulatory mechanism. The government's new directive is the culmination of a decade-long push for improved digital safety and better cyber governance, and it is set against the backdrop of a massive digital transformation that India is experiencing under initiatives like Digital India, which aims to drive the country towards a $1 trillion digital economy by 2030. Moving on to some key definitions and concepts, online pornography, as defined under Section 67 of the IT Act, includes any material that depicts sexual acts or explicit content intended to arouse. The 24-hour removal rule mandates that once such content is reported or identified by platforms using their internal reporting tools or government cybercrime helplines, it must be removed within 24 hours. This is a significant improvement over previous practices, where content might remain online for several days, potentially causing harm before it is finally taken down. Content moderation, therefore, becomes a crucial process under this rule, relying heavily on the use of artificial intelligence to quickly scan, flag, and remove offending material. This is especially important in a country like India, where there is a diverse cultural landscape and varying attitudes towards pornography. Let's talk about some of the figures and numbers associated with this new policy. The announcement was made on 15th March 2025 during a press conference in New Delhi, and the rule is effective from 1st April 2025. With over 900 million internet users, the directive affects a vast number of digital consumers, and its impact is expected to be nationwide. In 2024, the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology reported that over 1,000 websites containing pornographic content were blocked, yet the persistence of over 10,000 cybercrime cases in 2023 indicates that much more needs to be done. Moreover, the rule stipulates fines of up to 1 crore rupees for platforms that fail to comply with the removal mandate. However, there are challenges in implementation, particularly in rural areas where internet penetration is only around 36%. This could potentially slow down the process and require additional measures, such as offline reporting options or government-supported helplines. The technical details of the new process are equally important. When a user reports pornographic content, the platform's internal tools or a designated government cybercrime helpline will notify the relevant service provider. These platforms are then required to use advanced AI algorithms for content moderation, ensuring that any content flagged is reviewed and removed within the 24-hour window. Compliance will be closely monitored through quarterly audits conducted by the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology, and any platform that fails to meet the deadline will face severe penalties. These measures are designed to drastically reduce the spread of illegal content online and ensure that digital platforms are held to a high standard of accountability. Now, considering the broader implications of this policy, it is clear that the 24-hour removal rule has significant socio-economic and political impacts. From an economic perspective, enforcing such a rule can potentially save billions by reducing fraud and protecting digital users. However, it also has the potential to increase operational costs for digital platforms, which might be passed on to consumers. Socially, the rule is aimed at enhancing online safety and protecting the moral fabric of society, which is particularly important in a country like India where cultural values are diverse and deeply rooted. On the other hand, there is a risk that such stringent measures could lead to over-censorship, thereby infringing on the freedom of expression. Civil liberties groups have already voiced concerns over the potential for abuse, and there have been protests, especially in urban areas like Bangalore, where around 5,000 people demonstrated on 20th March 2025, urging the government to ensure that the rule does not stifle legitimate speech. Furthermore, the policy's implications extend into the realm of digital governance and regulatory frameworks. With a hypothetical budget of 5,000 crore rupees allocated for digital infrastructure over 2025 to 2027, the government is clearly serious about overhauling how digital content is managed and regulated. The rule is part of a broader strategy to modernize the digital economy, aligning with the goals of the Digital India Initiative. However, critics argue that while the rule may enhance security, it could also exacerbate the digital divide, particularly affecting rural populations who already struggle with limited internet access and digital literacy. This is a critical challenge that policymakers will need to address to ensure that the benefits of digital governance are evenly distributed across the country. The origins of the 24-hour removal rule are rooted in a series of policy measures that have been evolving over the past decade. The IT Act, 2000, initially provided a legal framework to combat the publication and transmission of explicit material, but as the digital landscape evolved, so did the methods of content dissemination and the sophistication of cybercrime. Previous efforts, such as the blocking of websites, were reactive and limited in scope, prompting the need for a more proactive approach. The new rule, announced in early 2025, is thus a culmination of years of incremental policy changes aimed at strengthening digital governance. It represents a bold step forward in ensuring that online platforms are held accountable for the content they host, thereby protecting users from the harmful effects of digital pornography. Let's now discuss the potential challenges and controversies surrounding this policy. One of the major points of contention is the tension between enhancing online safety and preserving freedom of expression. While the government's intention is to remove content that is considered harmful and offensive, critics fear that the broad application of the rule might lead to censorship and the removal of content that does not, in fact, violate any norms. This has led to heated debates among legal experts, digital rights activists, and the general public. Moreover, the implementation challenges in rural areas, where only 36% of the population has reliable internet access, may create disparities in how effectively the rule is enforced across different regions. Rural users may have limited ability to report violations through online platforms, which could result in uneven compliance and enforcement. Another area of concern is the economic impact of this directive. On one hand, the rule could help reduce online fraud and protect users from exposure to illegal and harmful content, potentially saving the economy a significant amount of money. Hypothetical estimates suggest that it could save up to 500 crore rupees annually. On the other hand, increased compliance costs for digital platforms could lead to higher operational expenses, which might be passed on to consumers in the form of higher service charges. Additionally, there is the risk of legal challenges. With over 10,000 cybercrime cases related to online pornography reported in 2023 alone, the rule is likely to face scrutiny from various stakeholders, including civil liberties groups and industry players. These legal battles could delay the full implementation of the rule and create uncertainties in the digital market. In terms of technical implementation, the success of the 24-hour removal rule hinges on the ability of digital platforms to quickly and accurately identify and remove offending content. Advanced artificial intelligence systems are expected to play a crucial role in this process. However, the effectiveness of these systems is not yet proven across all languages and cultural contexts, which is particularly relevant in a diverse country like India. Moreover, the government's plan to conduct quarterly audits to ensure compliance is a step in the right direction, but it also raises questions about the transparency and fairness of the monitoring process. From a broader perspective, this rule is part of a larger effort by the Indian government to regulate the digital space and create a safer online environment. It aligns with the objectives of the Digital India Initiative, which seeks to harness technology to improve governance and service delivery while simultaneously addressing issues such as cybercrime and digital fraud. As India continues to expand its digital economy, with projections indicating that it could reach a value of $1 trillion by 2030, policies like the 24-hour removal rule become increasingly important in maintaining the integrity and security of the online ecosystem. It's also important to consider the societal implications of this directive. In a country where digital content consumption is at an all-time high and where over 900 million people are connected to the internet, the impact of such a policy is far-reaching. By mandating that online platforms remove pornographic content within 24 hours, the government is taking a firm stance on protecting social values and public morality. However, this approach also raises concerns about the potential for overreach and the suppression of legitimate content. The balance between protecting citizens and ensuring freedom of expression is delicate, and this rule is likely to remain a subject of intense debate in the coming years. Looking ahead, the implementation of the 24-hour removal rule is expected to have significant long-term impacts. If successful, it could serve as a model for other countries grappling with similar issues, potentially influencing global standards for digital content regulation. On the other hand, if the rule is implemented in a way that infringes on free speech or disproportionately affects certain user groups, it could lead to further protests and legal challenges, thereby hampering the overall goal of enhancing online safety. The government has allocated a hypothetical budget of 5,000 crore rupees for digital infrastructure improvements from 2025 to 2027, which is expected to support the implementation of this rule. This funding will likely be used to upgrade the technological capabilities of digital platforms, improve the accuracy of content moderation systems, and ensure that even users in rural areas have access to effective reporting mechanisms. Furthermore, the rule is expected to prompt further legislative reforms in the digital domain by 2026, as policymakers assess its impact and make adjustments based on feedback from various stakeholders. In conclusion, the 24-hour removal rule represents a significant shift in India's approach to digital content regulation. By requiring that online pornography be removed within 24 hours of being reported or identified, the government aims to enhance online safety, reduce fraud, and align with broader digital governance initiatives. While the rule is expected to deliver substantial benefits in terms of reducing exposure to harmful content and saving the economy significant resources, it also raises important questions about freedom of expression, platform compliance, and the digital divide, especially in rural areas with limited internet access. As this policy moves into effect on 1 April 2025, and with quarterly audits already scheduled, it will undoubtedly shape the future of digital content regulation in India, with implications that extend well beyond the realm of online pornography. It is a complex issue that intersects technology, law, social values, and economic policy, making it a critical topic for anyone interested in current affairs and digital governance in India. Answer this question in comments. The correct answer will be given hot and pinned. Lastly, we just want to let you know that we are a newly emerging online platform for competitive exams. Creating educational explainer videos like these requires a lot of effort, money, and time. If you like these videos and want us to excel and create videos in all categories of competitive exams, then you can consider supporting us with a one-time donation through the Ko-fi platform and also by becoming a member through Patreon. This will help us create more such informative educational videos in the competitive exams space. So, one last time, subscribe and share this channel with all your friends who are preparing for competitive exams. And also, follow us on social media platforms. The links are given in the About section of the channel and also in the video description. So, see you in the next video.